What is your favorite or most interesting unsolved mystery? A sperm whale can dive down to 3 kilometers deep, which is a record in the animal kingdom. They primarily eat squid. They've also been found to have giant suction marks on their body, suggesting there's something really big down there. In 2003, an American pilot named Ben Padilla and a local mechanic climbed into an unused Boeing 727 at an Angolan airport, taxied to the runway without clearance from the tower, and took off. No trace of the airplane or the two men has ever been found. Zodiac Killer. H posts. I try to get the word out on this one when I can. Davis and Ellsworth were shot to death in the car with their baby in the backseat. The first people on the scene, Herbert and Lynette Glass, were themselves found murdered shortly after. The disappearance of Frederick Valentich, a pilot whose last words were "It is hovering and it's not an aircraft." The Green Children of Woolpit. Basically there's this village in England named Woolpit. One day two children appear out of nowhere. Their skin is green and they spoke an unrecognizable language. It took several days for them to agree to eat something. Green beans. Eventually they started eating other stuff and list their green coloring, and the sister learns English after the brother dies. She says that they came from a land that was always twilight, and everyone was green. Supposedly said place was underground, but it was never discovered if this was true and why they were green. Edit wrong there. I'd say the DB Cooper hijacking. This is a weird one. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/tamam_shud_case. John Bent Ramsey. Her brother totally did it. The Lost Empire of Yam. It was a powerful country from the same era as ancient Egypt, and yet we have no firm idea of where it was located. We have records from people who visited it, however. Here's my video on the topic with some research and storytelling. Art explains the Lost Empire of Yam. 300 asses and one dancing pygmy. https://yahoo.be/_k9ndhgldus. Amy Lynn Bradley, a young woman who went missing from a cruise ship. Prior to her disappearance, pictures of her taken by the ship's photographer went missing from the on-board gallery. https://en.m.wiki.org/wiki/disappearance_of_amy_lynn_bradley. Not favorite mystery, but we still don't know the motive of the shooter who shot up the Route 91 festival in Las Vegas. The deadliest shooting in US history, and we don't have a clue other than he was a guy that lost money gambling a lot. I personally enjoy scrolling through this website's archive of unidentified bodies. http://www.donutwork.org/uid-go-us-males.php. But for one single case I'd have to go with the street Louis Jane Doe. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/st._louis_jane_doe?w profsflower1. http://www.donutwork.org/cases/54ufmo.html. Lizzie Borden. She was never actually convicted. Dyatlov Pass. Super interesting to read about. The Romanov family. It's not a mystery now, but it was one of the biggest mysteries then. All of their skeletons were found buried except for Anastasia's. Someone claimed to be her. The royal family took her in and treated her like family because DNA testing hadn't existed then. The saddest part is that she wasn't actually Anastasia. How terrible. Istal Woman. Maura Murray. O.J. Simpson was ruled not guilty, so now he did that shit. West Memphis 3. How come every time I put a pair of socks in the washing machine just one of them came out? Honestly, where do they go? Lindsay Buziak. The life of the famous Delta blues guitarist singer, Robert Johnson. I like the Black Dahlia case mainly cause it's easily solvable, but crookedness and corruption in the police department. All the people familiar to the case know that it was a certain person that did it, but still it remains unsolved. I also am intrigued by the Cleveland torso serial killer case and also the Chicago Tylenol poisoning. I know it said one case, but I am just super intrigued by crime cases that are unsolved. That 8 or 9 feet great white that disappeared after its tracker showed it at a depth that great whites don't swim at, meaning it was eaten by something. Something ate a fucking 9 feet great white shark. I'm always interested in there's always a bigger fish story. Maura Murray, Missy Bevers, Dyatlov Pass, and Amelia Earhart, and Jack the Ripper, and the Beast of Dvorden. Actually, the deeper into the history, the more mysterious they get. Who put Bella in the Witch Elm has always utterly fascinated me. It's just so gothic and weird. The Voynich manuscript. Renaissance era illuminated text that appears to be a botanical and astronomical guide, despite referring to things that do not exist. Also, more importantly, not written in any known language. The reason I'm intrigued is that according to linguists and cryptographers, the text has the structural qualities of a natural language or cipher, and isn't just random gibberish. So even if it's a made-up language, or a cipher, or the whole thing is a hoax, it still says something. And in over 100 years no one has been able to figure out what. Not my favorite, as that's the wrong term, as it's so tragic, but I really hope they find out what happened to Maddie McCann. Poor little kid let down by her own parents. I hope she didn't or isn't suffering through, but after over a decade, she has simply vanished. No one can figure out what happened. Cicada 3301. National Park disappearances. The Dyatlov incident is one that stuck with me. https://en.m.wiki.org/wiki/Dyatlov_pass_incident. Lost Colony of Roanoke. Mary Celeste Boat. Verminous. Those Indian flying saucer things. No one has mentioned the Missy Bevers case. That's my #1 mystery I need solved. So weird and creepy. A person dressed in SWAT gear wandered around vandalizing a church until she showed up to teach an exercise class at 5 AM. The person is on video, too. I hope we learn someday the killer and why she was killed. Baalbek trilithon +1 stones. 4 stone slabs between 750 and 1,200 tons each were quarried and then transported several miles over at least one river to be used as the base of a temple, using stone knives and bear skins. What happened to Judge Crater? Joseph Force Crater, cool name rating 9.5, was a New York Supreme Court judge who disappeared amid corruption investigations. He was last seen either getting into a taxi or walking out of a restaurant on 45th Street. He was never seen again, and no one is quite sure what happened to him. In 2005, the police did receive letters saying that he was murdered by a police officer and buried at the current site of the New York Aquarium, but there was no report of human remains found when the site was excavated for construction of the aquarium. Exactly what happened to Judge Crater is still unknown. 1991 Austin yogurt shop murders. Who shat in the bathtub at the birthday party 15 years ago? We narrowed it down to 2 suspect. Yet, to this day, neither has confessed. Mine is personal. Me and my best friend was playing with a small glow-in-the-dark bouncy rubber ball in my room when we were like 10. We had the room almost completely dark and we were throwing it to each other. All of a sudden I throw it to him and the light just disappears. We begin searching for it both with and without the light on and eventually give up. We go out to tell my mom that we've been bamboozled by God, only to find it on the other side of the door. The door was closed the entire time. No holes at all that size that it could have went through. We still scratch our heads about that one 10 years later. Why she left me. I love the case of Elisa Lam. I just find it fascinating, all of the mystery surrounding her death. Maybe she was just mentally ill, but how in the hell did she get that water tank open? Exclamation point. Dave Box. Unsolved case of Jeanette B. Palmer. The John Benet Ramsey case. Where the fuck is Maura Murray? The bloop. Cobain suicide. The 27 Club mythos. How anyone can enjoy happy hardcore. Who really killed JFK? Origins of life. A boy in the box. I really want to know what happened to him. No one knows who the boy was or where he came from or who killed him. I just want to know who he was. It makes me sad that out there is someone who murdered a small boy. And maybe the parents are still looking for their small boy. The Prime Minister of Australia went swimming one day and was never seen again. DB Cooper. Who is Mr. Fantastic? Only appeared on a few tracks with MF Doom then disappeared. The identities of the men in the various tombs of the unknown soldier around the world. It's horrible to imagine dying for your country and being so unrecognizable that you can't even be buried with your name. They identified the unknown Vietnam vet in the US a decade or so ago, which was a cool moment. Lars Mittank. One of the most bizarre missing persons in history. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/disappearance_of_Lars_Mittank. What would happen if a snake ate himself? What would it look like? Does it finish until he stops existing? Help. The West Coast video store murders in Pennsylvania. I lived near there at the time and the story always freaked me out. https://medium.com/of-mysteries/unsolved-the-murders-of-cn-campbell-and-benson-8822339FFE081. Who put Bella in the witch elm? In 1943, 4 boys looking for birds' eggs found the skeleton of a woman stuffed inside a tree. The body had been placed in the tree sometime in 1941 and had a piece of fabric stuffed in her mouth. One of her hands had been removed and buried near the tree. In 1944, graffiti started appearing in the town nearby. It said, "Who put Bella in the witch elm?" There are lots of theories, but to this day nobody knows who Bella was or why she ended up murdered and stuffed in a tree. Where do humans go after dying? Mystery Incorporated has entered the chat. The Hinterkaifeck murders. A family in Germany lived for a few days with a stranger in their attic. They either didn't know or didn't think it was a problem. The father was even heard in town before the murders talking about how he saw footsteps in the snow heading to his house from the forest, but not going back. During the night, this anonymous person lured each family member and their maid into the barn and murdered them. The bodies weren't discovered for a few days, and no one thought there was anything strange going on, because they saw smoke coming out of the chimney, meaning that the murderer was living in the house for a day or two after killing a whole family. No one is really sure who did it or why. It's terrifying, in my opinion. Percival Harrison Fawcett or Ambrose Bierce. The Kerry babies in the 80s in Ireland. A baby was found dead on a beach. They arrested a woman in a nearby town who was pregnant but not anymore. They charged her for the murder of the baby, but a family member protested, saying the baby died in childbirth and they buried it on family land. Eventually the police checked it out and sure enough there was also a baby found dead on the woman's property. They decided to charge her for the murder of both babies even though the baby found on the beach wasn't a DNA match. The police claimed that she became pregnant with 2 babies at once with 2 different men. She was sent to prison for a few years and the parents of the baby found at the beach was never known. They reopened the case last year. I'm not kidding when I say this. With my room a girl had it before we moved there. There are tons of pencil drawn messages like Kayla plus Jackson and other crap like that in the closet. At one point when I was around 9 or 10, me and my slightly older brother found a pentagram etched into an area in my closet. That was only like 4 years ago. Yes, I'm young. But my question isn't why is there a pentagram there? My question is where did it go? I'm not kidding. The pentagram is gone. Like it was never there. Me, my brother, even my cousin remembers it. But it's gone. Creepy, I know, but it belonged here. Where did the pentagram go? The Dark Knight Satellite edit. It's actually called the Black Knight Satellite. The Las Cruces Bowling Alley Massacre. 5 victims, the youngest being a 2-year-old who was shot in the head as her killer held her. No arrests. Jack the Ripper. Al Capone's mystery vault is an interesting and solved ordeal. What happened to that manhole at that nuclear test site in the 50s? The Alcázar case in Spain. The entire case and mystery still baffles me. In my own city, there was a fatal arson fire at a Holiday Inn in November 1978. Wikipedia article. To this day, they don't know who did it, or why. As the article says, it's been narrowed down to 2 suspects, but they may never figure it out.